Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be talking about a fully funded PhD scholarship. In addition, this scholarship has an added advantage of you pursuing a PhD without master's degree or certificate. And I'm very sure you'll be interested. So I want you to stay with me as we delve much into this scholarship. I'll be talking about the overview of this scholarship, some of the benefits that you can get from this scholarship if you are successful. I'll also talk about the research areas that are covered by this topic. We'll go into some of the frequently asked questions that previous or prospective candidates ask about this question. And finally, we will look at the application procedure. That is how you can submit an application. So let's get started and go into this scholarship. So the name of this scholarship is Singapore International Graduate Award, which is shortened as SINGA. So let's look at what this scholarship is about. So SINGA is a collaboration between the Agency for Science, Technology and Research, which is shortened as ASTAR. And these are the universities that are in partnership, that is the collaborators. So we have the NTU, we have SUTD, we have NUS, and finally we have SMU. So there are 4 universities. Now this training will be carried out in English at your chosen lab at ASTAR Research Institute and the 4 universities that I just talked about. Students will be supervised by distinguished and world-renowned researchers in these labs. Upon successful completion, students will be conferred a PhD degree by either of these 4 universities. Let's now look at some of the research areas that are covered by this scholarship. Before I talk about that, let me highlight that this scholarship, the application deadline is 1st of December 2022. Now let's look at the research areas. So you click here and you get to know the research areas. Now, SINGA supports PhD studies in 4 areas, and these are biomedical sciences, computing and information sciences, engineering and technology, and finally physical sciences. Now, so this, when you click here, we have the ASTAR supervisors and projects. When we proceed, we get to know that before you can submit an application, you need to get or select about 3 projects with their various supervisors, and when you click over here, you get to know a lot about them. So let's click here and find out more about it. Over here, you get to know the ASTAR supervisors and the various projects that are covered by this scholarship. So the research areas under the PhD fall broadly into 4 categories as I talked about, and these are the various categories. When you click on each of these links, you get to know the various institutes with their project titles, the accompanying supervisors, and a lot of with their email addresses and all that, so that you can use those information to fast track or facilitate your application. So if you are interested in any of these areas, you click on it and you get to know more about it. When you click on any of them, you get an Excel file that compiles all the various projects that are covered by this scholarship. So for the purpose of this presentation, let me just click on biomedical sciences. After clicking on biomedical sciences, this is the Excel file that you get, which covers the projects that are done under biomedical sciences. So over here, we can see research institute at the top. We have course category, focus area, project title, project description, ASTAR supervisor, the designation of the supervisor, and lastly, their email addresses. So let's look at the first one. The first one, for instance, you can see Bioinformatics Institute. So that is the name of the institute where this project will be carried out. So it is under this category, course category, that is biomedical sciences. The focus area is chemical biology. Now, this is the title of the project: Computational Design and Experimental Development of Novel Nucleotide Sensors. This is the description of the project. Now you can see the name of the supervisor for this project over here. and this supervisor is a senior principal investigator. The accompanied email address is over here. So these are the information that you need for you to submit your application when you are to enter information about the projects of interest. So for the biomedicals, there are a lot over here. When you go down, you will see a lot of them. There are a lot of them down here. You can just scroll down, and as you can see, there are a lot over here. So you just go through, and the one that you are interested, you pick the name of the project title and the name of the supervisor in addition to their email or contact information, so that you can use it to fill or process your application. So that is about the biomedical sciences. You can do so for the rest to find out the projects that are covered in each of these 4 disciplines. Now you have to take note that if the supervisor that you are interested to work with is not found in the list, you may like to contact the supervisor to discuss possible projects. Maybe you are interested in a particular project in a certain discipline out of these 4 that is not covered by the project titles or descriptions, and you want to propose your own project. There is a possibility for that. You just contact the faculty or the supervisor and just discuss with the supervisor. If they are okay with it, there will be further directions as to how to go about it. So that is about the research areas that are covered by this scholarship. As you can rightly see over here, you have to know that you'll be required to indicate your choices of supervisor in the application form. Let's now look at the eligibility, who qualifies to apply for this scholarship. So when you click on that, this is what you see. Now, this is open for application to all international graduates with a passion for research and excellent academic results. Note that SENGA is intended primarily for international students studying for the first time in Singapore, Singaporeans, Singapore permanent residents, and international students studying or who have studied in Singapore tertiary institutions are not eligible. You should have good skills in written and spoken English. You should also have good report from academic referees. Now, with the written and spoken English, when you proceed, you get to know that you don't need IELTS or TOEFL. If you have it, fine, but if you don't have it too, you can go ahead and apply for this scholarship. Now you have to know that the above eligibility criteria are not exhaustive. ISTA may include additional selection criteria based on prevailing scholarship policies, and these policies may be amended from time to time without notice. So what does this scholarship cover? What are the benefits that you get if you are to be successful in this scholarship? The award provides support for up to 4 years of PhD studies, and they include free tuition fees. You also be given a monthly stipend of 2,200 Singapore dollars, and this will be increased to 2,700 after you pass a qualifying examination. Now, for this 4-year PhD program, you do a coursework and a research, and at the end of the first year, before you can proceed to work on your research thesis, you have to write a qualifying examination. So over here, they are indicating that when you pass the exams after the first year, which will be done in the second year, your stipend will now be increased to 2,700 Singapore dollars. You also be given one-time FA grant of up to 1,500 Singapore dollars. In addition, you will have one-time settling in allowance of 1,000 Singapore dollars. Now, in order for you to have an idea of how the cost of living is in Singapore, in case you are not aware, so they have given a breakdown of or an overview of how the living cost is over there. So when you look at food over here, for the university canteens, for every student per month, you will be spending roughly between 250 to 350. Now, let me add that all these figures are in Singapore dollars, so I'll just mention the figures. Now, if you buy meals outside campus, you'll be spending roughly between 450 to 600. Now for the accommodation on campus, now the on-campus accommodation priority is given to first years. For the on-campus accommodation, you spend between 400 to 700. Transport expenses for local transport 100 to 150. Other expenses including stationery, laundry, toiletries, recreation, etc. You'll be spending 400 to 500. So overall, you'll be spending between 1,400 to 2,000. Sorry. So if you go back or if you refer to the monthly stipend of 2,200 per this analysis, you roughly have about 200 Singapore dollars in excess. That for the first year. When you pass the qualifying exams, depending on the prevailing rate, you might have something in addition to spend. So that is about the benefits of this scholarship. Let's now look at some of the questions that are frequently asked by prospective candidates or previous candidates. So if you want to know more about it, you click on the frequently asked questions and there is a link over here. So let's click on this link. For the sake of convenience, the frequently asked questions about SENGA have been categorized into various forms. We have one for general, we have eligibility, we have questions on application process, we also have questions on the award terms, the referee's recommendation letter, and finally the coursework and research project. There are a lot of questions that are covered over here, so I'll just advise that when you get to this link, you just go to this page. Make sure you read all those questions so that you will be well informed about this scholarship. Let's just have a highlight or on some of the questions that are asked. So we can see question on SENGA. What is SENGA all about? Am I required to take up citizenship and or work in Singapore after graduation? There are a lot of questions that are covered under the general. How many awards will be offered each year? So like I said, I would advise that you come here and you read more about it. You can when you go to the eligibility, who qualifies to apply for this scholarship. Can I apply? Over here you can see, can I apply if I don't have GRE, IELTS? All these questions are answered over here, and I'm sure this information will really help you as you prepare to submit an application. So this is about the facts concerning the SENGA scholarship. Now the last and the most important of all is the application procedure. So let's find out more about it. When you click on this tab, now over here you can see you have to browse the PhD research project. Earlier on we looked at the research areas over here. So when you click on that, when we clicked over there, we saw the ESTAR project supervisors and their various projects, and under that, when we clicked on that one too, we realized that we had 4 major disciplines. Under each there are a lot of project titles, descriptions with the various supervisors and their contact details. Now this is the first thing that you have to do. You have to go there, browse them, make sure that you find research areas or projects that are in line with your interest. Now when you are done with that, you can now come to this portal and just start your application. There are some documents that you also need before you also begin the application, and those documents are compulsory. However, you are not supposed to email any of the hard copies of the document to the SENGA office. The first one is a valid passport. Guys, without a passport, you can't even register. You can't even register on the application portal. So you need a valid passport. And you also need a recent passport size picture in JPEG or PNG format. Again, you will need a transcript and a report of your academic certificate, and this should be in English translation. The good news over here, which I hinted on it earlier on in this video, is that although this is a PhD scholarship, and unlike the traditional way of doing PhD where you have to complete masters before doing it, for this scholarship, even with BSc or bachelor's degree, you can go ahead and apply, and if you are successful, you will just enroll in a 4-year PhD program. So if you have bachelor certificates, you need to upload the certificate and the academic requirements. In addition, if you also have the masters, you have to do so. So it's bachelor's and or master's academic transcript. However, if you are doing masters or bachelor's, and you haven't completed, there is also an opportunity for you to apply for this scholarship. In that case, you will need a letter of certification from the university on your candidature if your degree or certificate or scroll has not yet been conferred, and you are supposed to state the date that you will be completing as part of the application process. You also need 2 recommendation reports, and these are to be completed and submitted online by the referees. Applicants applying to NUS supervisors or projects are required to submit your GRE scores in your single application form. So like I said, when you proceed, you realize that you don't actually need GRE or IELTS or TOEFL or whatever. However, some institutions, as they have stated over here, may require it as part of the application process. This, you get more information about it after you have been shortlisted and you move to the next stage of the application or the selection process. So over here, as you can see, the submission of IELTS, TOEFL, SAT or GATE result is optional and may be requested later by the university for admission. There's important information over here. You have to ensure that the information you provide during account registration in the application portal is accurate, as the information will be used for verification upon your first login. So over here, they are saying that when you go to the application portal and you are registering, you are supposed to enter your accurate details, your first name, middle name if you have, and your last name. And this should be the same information that appears on your passport. You have to ensure that you apply for the correct scholarship. After you have registered on the portal and you log in and you start the application, you realize that there are a lot of scholarships that are available in addition to the SINGA. So you have to note that this scholarship I'm talking about is SINGA, that is Singapore International Graduate Award, and that is what you have to select. You are not supposed to email any hard copy document to the SINGA office, as I talked about earlier. You have to submit your applications as early as possible. This will provide ample time for your referees to submit their online recommendation report before the application deadline, because only 2 applications with 2 recommendation reports will be processed. Now, when you submit your online application, within 7 days, your referees are supposed to submit their, that is academic referees, they are supposed to submit their recommendation report within 7 days. If they exceed that, your applications will not be considered. Please check and ensure that all data you have entered in the online application form is correct and accurate before you submit the application. Amendment to the application will not be possible after it is submitted. Submission deadline for August 2023 intake is 1st December 2022. Let me chip in over here that SINGA has 2 intakes in a year. We have the January intake and the August intake. This scholarship concerns the August intake. For the January intake, the deadline is already over. So the last intake for the year, that is 2023, is the one we are talking about, and the deadline is 1st December of 2022. So as usual, only shortlisted candidates will be notified, and that will be done within 12 weeks from the application closing date. So after you are done with all these things and you are satisfied with the information, you can now proceed and begin the application process. So there is a link over here. Apply now via this link. So let's click on this link. Guys, this is the A-Star scholarship portal, and this is where you begin your application. So over here, if you already have an account, you can log in with your details and proceed. Otherwise, you have to create a new account. So don't have SingPass account or an account. You register now. So you click on register now if you don't have a SingPass or an account. So let's click on that. After clicking on register now, this is where you'll be directed to. So you can see information over your full name, as in NRIC or passport. So your name, if you are NRIC, or otherwise you have to provide the name as it appears in your passport. So you have the first name, your middle name, and your last name, that is your family name. You have that of gender, citizenship type. We have that for Singapore citizen, that is SC. We have Singapore PR, that is SPR. And if you are non-Singapore citizen or Singapore permanent resident, you can choose the third one. As you can see, we have the passport number. So like I said, without a valid passport, you can't even register on the portal. We have your date of birth. So these are the details that you are supposed to enter before you can. When you are done, you click on submit. When you enter the information successfully and you submit, you will get a notification which reads that your registration is successful and you have to check your email for your password to proceed. So you can now click on OK and proceed. So when you check your email, there will also be a link. In addition to your email address and your password for logging in, there will be a link that you can click on to continue the application process. So when you click on that, you'll be directed to this page. So over here you can see account login, login with pass, or you just log in without sync pass. So with the details that have been provided to you in your email, when you click on login. When you click on login, you can just enter your email and the password that was emailed to you in your email. When you enter your email and the password that was provided, you will also be notified to set up a two-factor authentication for your account. So when that notification also comes, you click on OK over here. After clicking on that, this is what you see. You will now also be required to do a 2FA setup, and this is a two-factor authentication. Over here, you can see that you have to download and use your preferred 2FA authenticator apps such as Authy. We have the Microsoft Authenticator. You can also use Google Authenticator or any authenticator of choice to verify your code. So when you are through, or if you have any of that, you click on generate QR code. So when you click on that, this is where you'll be directed to. You will now be required to use your 2FA authenticator of your choice to scan this QR code. Now, if you are unable to scan or view the above code, there is another option for you where you are to enter your manual setup code below. So this code over here, you can just enter it over here. Otherwise, if you use your authenticator and scan this code, you realize that 6-digit number will appear on your device, and for that number you enter that number over here to validate your code. When you enter it, you can now click on validate code. If you do the right thing, this is the pop-up message that you see. 2FA has been set up successfully. You can now click on OK over here. When you are also through with that, you will also be required to change your password. So you can see a password change policy pop-up message over here, and it reads, for security purpose, you have to change your current default password. So you just click on OK and continue with that. You will now be given an option to change the password that was sent to you in your email. So you just enter that current password over here and you just type in your new password. There is a requirement for the new password, and it is to consist of 12 or more characters, including one capital letter, one lowercase letter, and a number. When you are done with that, you just type that one over here and repeat it. When you are done, you click on submit. When you submit and everything is successful, you will now be directed to this page where you can now begin your application. So you can see over here we have the home tab at the left corner of this page. We also have apply to scholarships, we have my applications, you also have accounts. So that is your account. You can do a lot of or update your account details over here. So if you want to start the application process or start submitting your application, you click on apply to scholarships over here. You will now be directed to this page where you get to know all the scholarships that are available. So you can see pre-universities, undergraduate studies, and undergraduate studies. We have the National Science Scholarship, which has its deadline to be 1st of March 2023. You can see a button here which indicate that you can just click and apply. We also have that of the graduate studies. You have the A-Star Computing. And so over here you can see a lot of scholarships over here in addition to what we are talking about, and this is what I earlier hinted on. When you come over here, you are to make sure that you select the right scholarship, which is SENGA. So let's look for SENGA and see where so when you come down, when you scroll down to the page, you see where SENGA is. So you can see SENGA over here under international awards. You can see Singapore International Graduate Award, that is SENGA, and you can see the deadline the same as what you have already looked at, that is 1st of December 2022. You now click on apply. After clicking on apply, you'll be directed now to the main page where you can start entering your details. Over there you can see a pre-filled information like the name you entered previously and your passport numbers and all that. There are a lot of information over there that you can easily enter it appropriately. So guys, if you are interested, I will encourage you to apply for the scholarship. The good news is that there is no application fee for this scholarship, so make sure that you review all that I've talked about. I will leave the link of this website in the video description. You can check it up yourself. You have from now up to 1st of December to make sure that you get all the needed documents and all the various information that you need to make this application a success. As you begin your application, I wish you all the best. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, I will encourage you to subscribe because I have a lot of good scholarship offers that my channel. You can check my channel page for all this information. In this video, when you check the video description, you also get the playlist of all the videos that I have covered on this channel. So till then, bye.